Hey guys, what's going on? I'm going to do a quick trade recap from the Friday the 21st. So I took one trade today on AMD. It was a winning trade. I want to run through potentially some of the other entries as well if you guys took those, what I liked, what I didn't like. So it should be a pretty solid video. First and foremost, you guys know how I like to run these. Usually I'll jump through to the higher time frames and I'll check out those first before I go to the low time frames, because I always kind of have a little bit of a game plan coming in. So as for today, I did mention that AMD is my favorite setup for the downside at previous day low. That was the main trade idea. Have a huge gap to fill on the daily time frame. This is basically your last level of support. If we break that, we have some decent room for continuation, potentially into the next coming sessions as well. So now, going over kind of cues as well, right? Into the morning, I wanted to see cues essentially break your high time frame support or reclaim your 592. So let's go over those levels real quick as well. These are mostly only 15 minutes. So as your 592 is essentially your Tuesday's lows, as well as kind of a key pivot right here as well. So that was kind of the main idea. If we reclaim into there, you can be taking some trades to the long side. And as you can see, right when we did actually reclaim that level, later into the session, we did have a pretty good move to the upside. So clear rejection here too, which signifies that this is a key point, right? This is a key reaction point. So that was the main idea for the 592. Essentially, all trades to the downside were going to be below your previous day low, right? Your higher time frame support, and also that. That was kind of the main trade idea. Some other levels around here. I like personally just this low, but honestly, it was mostly just your previous day low. That was the main trade idea. So below there, we do have a good amount of room till the next level as well. So that's what I wanted to see. Now, I saw a lot of trades and throughout the accelerator coaching and the traders lab one-to-ones, had a lot of people take some trades on AMD, and I kind of want to go over the thoughts on some of those entries, and I'll kind of start off with cues, which might sound funny. I'll just grab a sip of water there. So right off the bat, you can see cues is not doing anything. Nothing, right? It's just ranging, not really doing too much. And then we did bounce off of this, basically your previous day low, your 15-minute level. We did pull back into that, which kind of was a lot of the bottoms, right, for AMD, which we'll go over. We'll kind of compare both. Before that, though, before Qs dropped and really kind of pulled into that level, right, a heavy drop for buyers to kind of push it back up, we did see AMD break your previous day low before that. So 938, if you look at QQQ, we'll run through. 938, we had not yet dropped into that level at all. So when AMD breaks and QQQ doesn't, I know that AMD does have, relative weakness per se. Not even per se, it does. Now looking at we already kind of went over the higher time frames. Overall trend to the downside, we can take a look at that real quick. It does make sense to take AMD shorts. I don't really see too many long scenarios kind of showing up. Potentially a reclaim of your 214 now. Other than that, though, mostly want to take trades to the downside, taking a look at this overall trend, right? So, coming into the low time frames, this one was pretty straightforward, I want to say. This one was pretty straightforward in terms of the actual entry. You guys are probably familiar with some of my setups. If you watch my other trade reviews, most of them are very, very similar, which is a good thing. So we did have clear buyers step in, which is a good sign at your previous day low. That is a good sign. That means there is a reaction here. That means that there is a level of support here. A buyer's trying to hold it. So 4 wicks, technically that's a good sign. As we break out and we have a displacement candle, this kind of confirms the breakout for me, right? This candle right here. This confirms that we do want to make that move lower, right? And then as we pull back for the retest, right, this is your key pivot right here. So not only is it kind of, I guess, potentially one candle rule setup, I wouldn't really call it that. I would call it your 5-minute low or technically, previous level of support too. So there's a couple things here. I think if I load up the indicator, let me try it out real quick. I think it was your 5-minute low as well. So yeah, previous day low, 5-minute low, key level on the chart, a lot of room to the downside, displacement candle. So a couple candles for the retest. This one was essentially as A+ as you can get without Q's breaking that previous day low. So this was like essentially an A+ trade for me in my books. In terms of the entry, anywhere, if you entered in at 942 anywhere, to be honest, it would have been good. And here is probably one of the better trades, like your 942 candle. If you did wait for the close, you might not have hit your first TP. Might have came back a little bit, but the risk was above here. So that was my trade. I won't go over too much of the scaling. I kind of what I always do, just like most. I took 25 cons, 15 was out at the 946 candle. Came back almost to break even. These contracts were crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of shocked that this went from like a $2,000 P&L to like a $300 P&L up here. So I was kind of scared after I already TP'd them. So a little bit of a tougher trade, but the thesis, the overall game plan, we didn't break above this, right? It's still holding structure. So I did want to hold on to this one. Generally, I will go break even. If I don't like the setup, if it's not working out right away, I will go break even. This was one of those trades where I had full conviction in AMD going lower. And you can kind of see that too if you watch live trading through, Jack's lens. He knew AMD was going lower. So that was the kind of thought process there. In terms of some of the other scales, I think I took some off as well right here. I honestly, with this trade, most of my position was off at pre-market low. Actually, let me run through a kind of a recap here. So in this case, yeah, I had majority of my position out. Basically want to see Q's break low of day. I took, a few more at pre-market low. That was kind of the main trade idea down to here. Then aside from that, I think it was a scale of 197, 196, I believe. And then let me take a look because I do remember. Yeah, 198, 197, 195 actually. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking through this now. Last con 195. I do remember I closed out the whole trade. The scaling was a bit messy, I'm not going to lie. I could have probably improved on that a little bit. Maybe held a bit more until some of these levels, but it actually, this is funny. I quite literally sold the last contract at the exact bottom, which is that never happens. So happy about that. I could have held on to more for longer, but overall solid trade. In terms of some of the other setups, I think Hughes shopped a lot of people out, right? Because you did also have a few retests like this one right here. Oh, sorry. Right here. I literally messed it up twice. I'm doing this raw, unedited. I don't care. I'm leaving it in. You had this retest right here as well with some displacement. Didn't end up working out. I think at that 947 point. Let's take a look at Q's. That 947 point, we did pull up back up. So entering in when Q's is bouncing off that previous day low, definitely going to be tougher to take those setups, right? Definitely going to be tougher. In terms of before, I kind of explained the reasoning before that. AMD broke before Q's even did anything, before Q's even pulled back into this. So it was a little bit better of a setup. Really technical. You guys might have to go through it a couple times. The more you kind of look at these setups, the more it makes sense. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow if you're watching this on Friday for the Saturday session. And if you guys are in the coaching sessions for next week, feel free to book those in. If you're in the Traders Lab 1-to-1s, book those in. I got some spots up. So, and yeah, that was kind of the idea for the trade today. Hopefully you guys had a good trading week, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, peace out, guys.